Recording in
administration in the state
progress.
and the current administration federally will stomp this stuff down your throat. And if you do not have the teeth, the will to stand up to it, they're going to get it done. Ultimately, the Constitution is the ultimate law of the land. Anything that they go out of that is basically illegal. You just have to have the wherewithal to stand up to it.
Well, and I totally understand that. I understand the points of, there's some bills that get passed that we go to the Capitol or we do it on Zoom and we stand for certain bills that absolutely aren't going to go anywhere. They're just making a statement that this is what we believe. You know, I remember my when I was a council member, the second council meeting, they brought in that a resolution that everyone in the city of Craig should have an assault rifle. Okay, we know that was never going to pass. I was the only council member out of 7 that voted yes on it, knowing that you could never enforce it, but it was a principle that we believe in the Second Amendment. We believe in everybody should have the rights to do this. I knew it wasn't going to be passed. I knew it wasn't going to get any teeth in it, but it was a principle. And so I understand some of those. We do it at the state level, federal level, that some of those bills are never going to pass, but we put them out there just to make a statement. This is who we are. Yep, it's on the record. Yep. So we'll get Aaron to schedule a workshop with you guys on the constitutional one. And then I will look to my commissioners for their desire on, I believe Aaron put 2023-53 if you guys desire, or we can put them both in to the workshop, whatever my colleagues desire.
Personally, just my take on it would maybe be a workshop on both and figuring out how do we start to set aside some funding should we need to utilize that. And that was to Chris's point previously, is if this comes down, we don't want to be figuring out then what we have to scrape together. We want to be thinking ahead. So my preference would be to have a workshop on both and make sure that they're worded in a way that gives us the ability maybe even to free up funds from other places, even if we don't have a special fund stated. But that would need some legal ramification guidance, probably from our attorney or research on our own as well, that how do we state it in a way that maybe we don't have a fund set aside, but it frees up funding should we need it.
No, I just was going to agree with her on that. And, you know, and I guess for us in our position, you know, it sometimes it's kind of easy to say, you know, fight Denver over there. But what the citizens of Moffett County, you need to understand, there's a lot of things we're going to have to do ourselves that we can't rely on our state with a lot of funding that we get from the state. And we got to understand that, hey, if we go to fighting them on some things, some of that may not happen, because we hear that a lot. As long as the citizens of Moffett County knows that, you know, it might be one of them deals. We might have to come back to you and say, we got to raise the taxes to keep this county going. So there's a lot to it.
You're right. Every grant, every penny of our money that went from us to the state or to the feds that they give back to us comes with strings attached. Exactly. That ain't right. Right.
And I think I think we have the resolution from 2019. Mel has a resolution for 2013. The one thing I don't want to do is I do not want to pass a resolution today and then have to rescind another one that we've done later, because we don't know, you know, how many resolutions have we had? And we looked them up, and I didn't know about the 2013 one. I knew about the 2019 one, but I didn't know about the 2013 one. Unless you guys knew it on the 2013, I didn't. And so now all of a sudden you got 3 resolutions coming that are saying the exact same thing. Where are we at? So if you guys are good with it, we'll have Aaron schedule in maybe next week, early next week into that, if that's okay with you guys. We don't want to postpone it. We'll have it for our next meeting. So if that's okay. Okay. Afternoon. Yeah, we'll make sure it's posted and get it soon. Thank you guys.
Just so you know, we considered
actually presenting an ordinance, but we figured you guys had never signed that, so that's why you got the
There you
resolution.
go. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
But maybe we can discuss that.
Yeah, we can have that discussion. All right, so next on the agenda is Moffat County Day of Prayer Proclamation. How are we?
Wow.
Moffat County Day of Prayer is May 4th, right?
Correct. And
I'll let you.
I guess I need to say I'm Julie Groby.
Yeah, Julie Grove.
I'm Loretta Earl.
And we're with the National Day of Prayer. And I'm just going to read my normal speech and then we'll go from there. The annual National Day of Prayer was established by federal law in 1952 when the United States Congress passed a joint resolution, which was signed by President Harry Truman. The law was amended in 1988 and signed by Ronald Reagan, specifically designating the first Thursday in May as the official National Day of Prayer. Through the years, our presidents have made proclamations declaring the first Thursday in May as the National Day of Prayer. Our governors have declared it as the Colorado Day of Prayer, and our county commissioners have proclaimed it the Moffat County Day of Prayer. So we come before our county commissioners today to have them proclaim May 4th, 2023 as the Moffat County Day of Prayer. Okay, we're going to have two events on that day. One will be here at the courthouse outside, and one will be at a New Creation Church, which will be live streamed. We've found that older people like to go indoors and sit down. So we're doing both again this year. It reaches more people. So May 4th at noon.
I believe on that day, I am scheduled to pray for government, and we're going to say a blessing over the new courthouse and all that. So we hope everybody could be here that day on May 4th. That will be a great day. Yeah. This year's full of firsts in the new courthouse. So, yeah. Any questions? Questions?
Hey, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to proclaim Moffat County Day of Prayer, May the 4th, 2023.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
All right, we have a public hearing at 9 o'clock. Jeff, you think you got 10 minutes? Come on, let's. You got 10 minutes. That's what I should have said.
No more than 9 minutes, right? No, I think this will be quick. Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Comstock, Natural Resources Director. I've got two items in front of you. One of them is signing an agreement with Tri-State for augmentation water supply money. And the second is of one of the many cooperating agency MOUs that we go through. So let's start off with the augmentation agreement. Real quickly, just to bring everybody up to speed, March 1st of last year, the Yampa River became over appropriated. You guys as commissioners had the land use board do some incredible research on that project when it was first talked about a couple years ago. We met with the state. The land use board took and met with tons of water users, and a lot of them on that board are water rights owners, and wrote a very impactful letter that caused the state to delay this for a year and include a whole new set of public input that was never there before. It caused them to grandfather a time frame in when people could apply for water rights and get their wells and anything that would be affected by overappropriation brought up to speed. So that process has all gone through. It was something we never supported. We opposed it from the beginning, but we lessened the impacts dramatically by the time today rolls around. And today the river is still overappropriated. The most impactful thing is that any new water well on less than 35 acres is going to have an augmentation plan. One of the things the commissioners asked for was that we try to minimize that cost to anybody. And so we got grants to write the augmentation plan from the River District. And we lobbied Tri-State multiple times to try to have a water rights donation so that we could augment with Tri-State water rather than landowners having to buy or well drillers having to buy a water right. We're here today because Tri-State offered us, by the time 3 meetings and 1 plane flight out here by their CEO, they offered us $25,000, which we suspect will at a minimum cover 10 years of water expenses. The agreement in front of you says that that money can be used for only water purchases, not for administrative fees that go with the augmentation plan we'll put in front of you. So that's the introduction. Happy to take any questions or talk further about it.
It was a lot of work.
It was, yeah. And I'm proud of the land use board for minimizing those impacts when the state first proposed this too. It's a significantly less impactful bureaucracy headed our way than what originally was going to be.
All right. Any questions for Jeff? Concerning payment agreement, augmentation water plant payment agreement?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the Tri-State Water Augmentation Plan contract as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? We appreciate Tri-State coming to the table, even though we're persistent in meeting them
Right.
and not giving up on it. We're trying to give for the constituents to know, we try to get Tri-State to give us water rights. That was our goal in this thing. And they decided because they have 10 years left, they weren't giving us anything, but they would give us a check and let us see how far it goes. And to get the augmentation plan, you have to have a long-term source of water.
Yeah.
So we had to have money somehow, some way. So
And I'd point out that we still have 10 years left to keep pressuring them for
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Keeps our
exactly.
foot in the door.
We will.
It does.
Absolutely.
That's a great way to put it.
Motion and second on the table. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, solar environmental impact study.
Yep, so this is a standard Bureau of Land Management cooperating agency agreement, and it is asking for our participation to be a cooperating agency. And I thought for a second I'd just highlight, this is the 6th one of these this year that we have done. And there's a very important reason to be a cooperating agency. Is a technical description with the BLM, and it lets the county have pre-decisional information. It lets governments be able to participate in the development of planning documents at an early stage. And we do this on the sage grouse EIS. We do this on a big game EIS. We do this on wolves, the wolf introduction, for the EIS that the Fish and Wildlife Services conducted on Section 10J. So I can't emphasize enough how much of a difference this makes when we get to participate in those discussions while the planning documents occur. It literally shifts the direction in our favor more than it would have been if we don't participate. These things are not good coming from the federal agencies. The solar EIS, I don't have a lot of positive to say at this point where it's headed either. The big game EIS is all about getting rid of oil and gas development. These national trends from the Biden administration hurt our economics in this county. But if we don't participate at an early phase, we're not in the game. So this is our 6th planning document that the BLM is putting toward us. So we'll be participating in early, and this one's on solar EIS. So I've had Becky review this. This is the same document we sign every time, but again, it gives us that access to pre-decisional information that helps the county be relevant in these discussions.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Comstock? Yep.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve I guess it would be the memorandum of understanding between the Department of the Interior, Bureau of Land Management, and the Moffett County Commissioners, cooperating agencies.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys, and we'll be bringing the River District's water contract next time for the augmentation plan.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
We've only got a few minutes here and before our deal, I would like to say, yesterday, I sat on Zoom for maybe about 6 hours waiting to, speak at the Capitol via Zoom on Senate Bill 256 concerning the 10J rule on wolves, and, Perry Will and, Dylan Roberts pushed this through the Senate, and, Ms. Lukens passed it through or presented it, and Soper presented it through the House, and it passed yesterday 11-2, which was a huge deal in the House, especially when you have Dan Gibbs up there opposing it, the Natural Resource Director, and had all these people that were going against what CPW stood for. And for the House to do it, knowing which way the House leans, was a pretty big statement on what we need. And so appreciate our senators and House representatives. So, well, we got 2 minutes, so we'll take a 2-minute, unless you guys have something. No? All right, we'll take a 2-minute recess and then we will go into a public hearing. To planning and zoning. And so. All right. I'm going to call a public hearing to order. And so then once a public hearing has been called, been declared, I will call Candace Miller, Planning and Zoning Coordinator, here to present to the Board of County Commissioners to request as submitted. Once the presentation is complete, the commissioners may ask questions or make comments. I will then ask the audience if there is anyone who wants to testify either for or against. Any citizen of Moffat County may testify once the public hearing has been declared and all the information has been presented. For those who want to testify, you will be asked to approach the commissioner, state your name for the record, and you will be given 3 minutes to present your testimony either for or against. Erin Miller will be the timekeeper today. She will notify the Board of County Commissioners and the speaker that 20 seconds remains before your time is up. No decision will be made during the public hearing. This is the opportunity for you to provide testimony in favor or in opposition of the proposed request. The commissioners have the option of asking questions or answering questions related to the topic during the hearing process. Once all testimony has been heard, the public hearing will be declared closed and we will go back to regular session and I will refer back to the board for discussion and a decision on said proposal. So I will declare this public hearing in session. So Ms. Miller.
Good morning. So first we have the Yoder McCleary replat. This was actually something that was supposed to have been in front of the board last year, but there was some issues, I believe, with some deeds. So that came back around. I think you guys see the plat. They basically kind of just reconfigured the two parcels. The board found no issues. I was approved with no stipulations. Any questions on that one?
Any questions? No? Are they present or Yoder's present? No? Okay. And so it's creating a parcel of 2.7 acres, right?
Yeah,
And
so
the
if you
parcel
see,
B will be 11 acres.
do you see the little, it shows how it used to be. There's a little tiny drawing that the McCleary used to have, kind of a little panhandle that went over. And so they basically just swapped some land and did a straight up line so that it
Gotcha.
made more sense.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
All right. No questions? All right, anyone in the audience that would like to speak either for or against this proposed proposal? Anyone in the audience? Last chance to say yay or nay. All right, no one, nothing. I'll come out of public hearing and look towards our county commissioners for their desire.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the Yoder McCleary Thompson replat S 2301 as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, so we will go back into public hearing. I'm not going to read all that I just read. You heard it once, you should understand. So we'll go back into it to talk about the cook exemption. Ms. Miller.
So the cook exemption is a total of 5 acres exemption. And that 5 acres surrounding a home that will be sold. Access to that 5 acres is via County Road 78 and then to a private drive or easement to the property itself. I did present this to the planning board. It was approved with no stipulations.
Any questions from the commissioners? It looks like Don's the owner of the 82 and he'll be the owner of the 5.
Well, yeah, so I think he'll keep the 82 acres left of that parcel and then he'll sell off that 5 acres with the house.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So they'll have access to that 5 acres, but then he'll continue to own the 82 surrounding that 5 acres.
All right, anyone in the audience would like to testify for or against?
Try to understand that's an existing home on that 5 acres.
Yes,
Okay, there is already a well in place. So this does not fall under this new BS of the water restrictions on the river. I live out north. Board of Commissioners in the past have been a little too lax with developing subdivisions, and now this is part of why we have a problem with a call on the river. There's been too much taken out of too many, or out of the aquifers. I think that's part of the problem. I have a well, which I could run it for a year and not get a third of what they allow me to get, but that doesn't matter. I just hate to see more wells poked.
Yeah. So we're on public hearing, you for or against this thing?
There.
Yeah, it is.
You're okay.
Mhm. And it is.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Anybody else either for or against this proposal? Last chance. All right, we will come out of public hearing and go back into regular session. We'll look to our commissioners of your desire.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the cook exemption E 2301.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. You're still in the hot seat. Number
Got a
3,
couple
so
more
planning
things.
and zoning.
Couple
We're gonna
more
talk,
things.
we're gonna talk about the airport hangar lease contract and present planning and zoning commission bylaws revisions for approval. So.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So the Moffett County hangar lease is a 3-year lease. That lease came to its end on April 30th. We posted a legal ad and put that out for bids for the next 3-year term. That was listed, the legal ad was published on March 24th with a bid due date of April 5th. The only bid we received was from the Moffett County Hangar Group, which has held the 3-year lease for the last, I believe, 9 years. And so we have updated their bid on this go around for the 3 years, which is slightly higher than what they were at on their last one. So this is their contract updated with the new price, and all of the dates have been updated.
It looked pretty self-explanatory to me. So,
Mhm.
any questions or concerns from the commissioner? Hearing none. What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the airport hangar lease contract with Moffett Hangar Group LLC as presented today.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. The bylaws.
Yes. So the planning board reviewed our bylaws, which had not been reviewed and had amendments since 2006. And looking at that, we made some unanimous decisions to just update some information in the bylaws, make them a little more current. And so in front of you or what was attached, we have our the red line of what the bylaws from 2006 are. I have highlighted anything that was added. I've striked anything that was removed, and noted in red what it was replaced with. So main areas that we revised the layout of the document, going through start to finish, under membership, where it was previously no less than 3 members shall reside outside the corporate city limits of the city of Craig. We have replaced that with when possible, a minimum of 3 members should reside outside the city corporate limits of Craig. The next section, we had, I think I accidentally deleted what it was. Associate membership. That whole section has been removed and replaced with an alternate membership. Stating the Moffett County Board of County Commissioners shall appoint alternate members who reside within Moffat County. When possible, one alternate should reside within the city and one in the county. Alternate members shall attend all meetings of the Moffat County Planning Commission, but only have the power to vote, otherwise act if a member is temporarily unable to act due to absence, illness, conflict of interest regarding an issue before the Moffat County Planning Commission. Let's see here. Filling vacancies, the very last of the city associate members shall be given first consideration of, for a city of Craig position, and the county associate member shall be given first consideration for the county position was replaced with an alternate member shall be given first consideration for an available position. We had some areas under meetings. Very first one, regular meetings, there was a reference to Craig City Hall. That's been replaced with Moffat County Courthouse. Our order of business or agenda was just rearranged, and we did take out a couple of those items. We have a very simple, short agenda. Voting, we removed the voting section and replaced with at meetings, each commission member shall have one vote for each item. Voting shall be by voice and shall be by roll call vote. We removed the section for secretary to the planning commission. We added definitions for all of the items in here, and then also amendments. So our current, the 2006, these bylaws supersede in their entirety all previous bylaws of the Moffat County Planning Commission. Amendments may be made to these bylaws by an affirmative vote of 4 members of the Moffat County. We changed that to 3 members based on history of our filled seats. So those were the changes to that. Any questions?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah. What's that? Not during our meeting, though, or I would open up a can of worms here if I did that. I apologize. So. Yeah. Sure. If you guys have already approved these,
We have, yes.
so you're just presenting them to us. We don't have, do we have to approve the revision if your board did?
So because we have to sign them as well.
You do.
Okay. All right.
So, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission bylaw revision as presented.
Second. Motion in a second. Any further discussion? Have to be afterwards. I mean, it was on our agenda for the last 24 hours at least. I think it's been there since since Friday.
And we had 2 meetings of the planning and zoning that we went through bylaws.
Yep.
We did.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for presenting that. Probably a good idea to check those every couple of years, huh? All right, so now we move on to Human Resource Department, Rachel Bauer. She amendment to resolution 2016-106 regarding snowbank hours. Looking at resolution 2023-52. Thank you.
Good morning. So we'd like to amend the resolution 2016-106 for on-call provisions for county operations for road and bridge snow removal. So that during inclement weather or emergency occurrences, snowbank accrual can be extended from March 31st or to an appropriate date determined by approval of county commissioners. We'd also like for the state highway contracted roads maintained by Moffat County to have the extended snowbank accrual through the end of the contract. This would also propose for our snowbank accrual cap to be amended from 40 hours to 50 hours. Road and bridge employees who do not normally remove snow as a part of their job description shall be permitted to work additional hours in the event of heavy snowfall and will be eligible for snowbank time for such additional work and shall not be subject to losing scheduled time off because of snow removal. In addition to the above stated amendments, the Board of County Commissioners will consider adding snowbank accrual for road and bridge fill-in employees whose normal job duties do not include snow removal. This includes emergency call out due to inclement weather. This will be subject to approval of the county commissioners at a set limit not to exceed our max cap limit, which will be the 50. And that the extension for the amendment to the accrual cap from 40 to 50 hours will start effective November 1st of this year. Moving forward on that too.
Hopefully, we don't have a winter like we had this winter where our guys have to work 7 days a week, getting ready, but
Followed by emergency flooding.
followed by emergency flooding. So, I think, just so all minds are clear, there was a couple reasons that we visited this. One, we have some people that don't get snowbank hours because their job something else. And so then, we want to make sure that they were treated fairly. And other ones that if you're not a snowplow operator, if you're not a motor grader operator and you're a truck driver, county has this weird deal that we are looking at that if you take vacation on Monday and your supervisor calls you on Friday and tells you have to come to work, you lose your vacation day on Monday so that we don't have to pay you overtime. And that's one of those things that we saved to save money a long time ago. Just not really fair if that's out of your job description, right? And so understand every rule's made because somebody was taking advantage of a rule. And so we're looking at that to make it better. And so that's kind of the reasons that we put this in place. So any further discussion, commissioners? All right.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the amendment to resolution 2016-106.
Second.
So it's the amendment to that, but being resolution 2023-52. That good?
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Right, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, last but not least, Yampa Valley Golf Association. You guys awake back there? Maybe the only person that I don't own more guns is Mr. Gush, then maybe Mr. Gush, maybe not.
Put that in the phone. I teach hunters there.
Appreciate you guys. I know we were supposed to have you guys last meeting. We kind of meeting was short and sweet because we were in the middle of a move last week. And so we're glad that you guys are here today and I'll turn it over to you and tell us all the good things.
Well, good morning, commissioners. Thank you again for having us. I would like to personally thank you for your interest and well-being of the golf course. Per our discussions over the last few months, you tasked the board of directors of the golf course to examine, prioritize, and budget any infrastructure needs for the Yampa Valley Golf Course going forward. The board has addressed your request and come to you today with that budget. All infrastructure projects that we have decided on are crucial for the golf course to continue operations and be a vital part of this community. I would like to turn this over to Mike Gush for a brief PowerPoint presentation and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you again.
All right, I'm Mike Gush. I am the secretary of the Yampa Valley Golf Association. Just a reminder that the association, our mission is to provide our members, guests, and community with quality golfing experience in a friendly, welcoming atmosphere. In our quest to accomplish this, we provide a team of well-trained, experienced, and highly motivated staff working together to make our course an enjoyable and affordable place to play golf and socialize. We will raise our patrons' expectations to a new level by offering outstanding services and affordable recreation, as well as a well-maintained golf course. We had our current Toro system, that's the sprinkler system, which you run at your parks and everything else. It's pretty old. The technology was from the 90s, and we know that we're in the 2020s now. And so the technology is very old. All the motherboards are kind of outdated. We have to buy rebuilt ones. We have to salvage parts from other things and find golf courses that have closed down and ripped out things to repair it. Some of the wiring boxes need to be replaced. The communication and tracking for each zone leaves much to be desired. So we have a hard time controlling the water on the golf course. In addition, we have to spend a lot of time with man hours and extra personnel to keep the course running. We decided on the LTC Pro satellite system. We looked at that. That's also a Toro system. It's newer technology. All those motherboards and the computer systems are still being produced. We don't have to go to scrap yards to buy parts. It will allow communication for each individual head at the golf course so we can monitor the water we're putting on the golf course, which will help us later on when we have water issues here in the county. And it will also help the golf course to reduce man hours of tracking the water, because manually, we have to do it all manually now. We called irrigation tech out to look at the current situation that we have at the golf course. And our major pump stations, they're between 35 and 40 years old. The pump motors have been rebuilt numerous times. A VDF has been added to extend the life of the stations. Currently, the backup jockey pump's not operational. The station pressure tanks and the pipings are all corroded. There's clear signs that the pump station could fail at any time. There's excessive rust on the skids and multiple skid welds that have failed. The rust coming from the skids is contaminating the sprinkler heads, causing extra man hours to repair. And then there's a pressure tank that is most likely significant interior rust and poses a risk for people working in the area. Using the GCA life cycle chart, pump stations that are 30 years old should be replaced, and you should consider that immediately. So we went with Watertronics and looked at them, and there's additional information that we passed on to you earlier. Watertronics would come in and replace the back 9 pump station. The best thing about that is we can monitor the water and know what we're putting out on the course, and it comes with a warranty, so we don't have to worry about something breaking down. The time frame for this, unfortunately, it takes 25 weeks after they accept our order to go ahead and build the station itself. They're currently, when we did this a month ago, they were currently booking orders for August delivery. Installation takes 2-3 days, so we wouldn't have water during that time. So we have to pick the best time to do that when we don't need water. So our actual installation would be September, October of this year. We would have it operational before the course closed for the year. That way we could test it, and then we don't want to install it in the middle of winter, not be able to test it and have our warranty run out. And then we're going to look at the front station. There's just not enough money to rebuild both stations and make them brand new. So we're going to remove it and get some local help on that. And we're going to send it out to get rebuilt. And that project will start in November, and we will not complete it until April of 24, because we'll take the pumps out for the winter and then have them all rebuilt, and everything will be replaced. The skid will be replaced. So, you guys have any questions on any of that we can answer for you? No?
You have a difference on the price on Watertronics from the financials that you gave us to the presentation of about $160 more. Is that
It could have,
part of
probably
your
was tax.
contingency?
Yeah, part of it was tax, I think, and then part of it's contingency too. I don't have all the main, John has the main here. So
You were at 172,219 on that, and
Right.
172,379 on.
379. Yeah, I think that was taxes, or the original one that we put in did not have the right amount of crane work. we went with some estimates on these because we don't know what the electricians are really gonna cost. So there's a contingency in there so that we don't go over. And it's not like we don't have some money, you know, so that if we did go over, we would not go over this. I
Well,
mean,
you're covering the 7,252 anyway.
right,
Right,
yeah,
I mean,
it's covered.
yeah.
It's covered
Yeah,
if we, it's covered. So it's not like we're looking for more, but some of these things we did have to estimate, like how many hours the electrician will take. We want to make sure that everything goes in there properly. The golf course has been around for, you know, over 60 years. The infrastructure is very old, and we just appreciate something happening to the beautiful golf course that we do have here in Moffett County. It is important to our viability later on, and then plus we use a lot of water, and we know that, and we do have water rights, and the county, we use some county water rights too. So we want to make sure that we're using it wisely, because water is the key to the future of the West here, and this is something that will really help us to be able to track what we're using here in the county.
And
Well, go ahead.
in just over the overview of all this, the three things that the board has decided are the brains of the facility and the heart of the facility. If either one of those two go down, that course is done. And it's, there's been a lot of people that have spent countless hours volunteering their time, first off, to build the golf course. The mine helped out and volunteered their time to build the back nine. We have pretty much used duct tape, baling wire, and bubble gum to keep those pumps functional. And if we don't have help, we may see that go away. And I think, I ran the youth program last year. I had 30 kids out there that were learning the game, and I donated my time to teach them. I think it's a huge part of the community. You know, I think even, I'm an avid golfer, but just the average family coming out. We don't have a huge membership. We have a lot of people that just come out on the weekends, and it's something to do here in Cray. And I think that's something that is so important for this community. So, that's just kind of a background there, guys.
And I think our ARPA funds that we put towards this, it was a use it, lose it type of deal. You had a certain period of time that you had to do it. And we did a lot of great things, I think, with this money. We did, Maybell, sewer, is that what, wastewater. We did that project. We, did a big upgrade to the sound system at, the fairgrounds. We gave money to you guys. What else, Roy? Augmentation plan. Yeah, the park and Maybell. So we spent a lot of money in Maybell as well, you know, and through this. And so I felt like this is a great asset to our community. I mean, I have hunters that come hunt with me every year, and then they usually make a trip through Craig in the summertime just to hit our golf course and then go on through Colorado and play. So it's a great asset to our community. So
The bands don't have their events.
A lot of fundraising goes on at the golf course. So it's a great place, a great park. I mean, it's even used in the wintertime, cross-country skiers.
yeah, for sure. You guys got a restaurant coming?
Yes.
Yeah,
If we get your liquor. if
we gotta
get
get
our
a liquor license.
You
done.
approved that.
I think that's.
We already approved it first. We already approved it.
So yeah, Saturday, that's the, we're gonna try to open up
Open.
Saturday for at least walking. We might not have carts out there. It might still be a little wet, but.
The rain's behind you.
Yeah, yes. Well, we appreciate it. This was already, we don't have any action to take. We just, we wanted to make sure we were updated and put pressure on you guys a while back. It's like, good chance we spend this somewhere else if you guys don't spend it.
Well, I
We
guarantee
appreciate you doing
when
it.
We leave here today, the papers are gonna be signed and we're gonna get this going, because it takes time.
Oh, for
It
sure.
takes time to get all this stuff here. We do have some local stuff that we can do, and we'll get that done right away. But we have to get our order in. So we're behind other municipalities and other areas that are buying these pump stations, and we're kind of a little behind the 8 ball too, but we'll get it done. Whatever it takes, we will get it done, and we will ensure that we have golf course going forward.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Any other business that you guys would like to speak on? All right, have a motion to close.
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.